What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Hoops Betting Hour. I'm your host, the big man on campus. We are here live on a Sunday, June 27th. We are wrapping up the month of June, and June seemed like it flew by. I feel like it was just Memorial Day, wasn't it? I feel like it was just Memorial Day. Wasn't it Memorial Day just recently? It's already the end of June. July 4th is next weekend. And then, we're almost to the end of the season in the NBA. We continue to get closer and closer to the NBA Finals. The Phoenix Suns took the step towards that last night. We'll see who can do it tonight between the Bucks and the Hawks in the East. We'll break that down for you in just a second. Let's welcome in our guest today. It's one of our favorites here. It's Spread Astaire. Spread, usually we see you on a Sunday. How you doing this morning? How's everything going?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Another exciting night of basketball. As you mentioned it, the Suns all but closed the door on the Clippers. And if you listen to some of Paul George's comments post game, it definitely felt the way that he was kind of rationalizing the loss. I mean, it was a great night of basketball, except for again the end of this game. I mean, they got to fix this. It's just too long. I mean, I just don't understand what they're doing and why it's taking so long to finish these games. And only a bunch of millionaires and billionaires could take such a beautiful, simple game and extend it so much to the end. And it's really too bad because it to me, almost overshadows the first 46 minutes of beautiful basketball that we got.
That's well said. And I will say this beautiful, I'm not sure it
Yeah,
was,
could be
but,
exaggerating there, but
but,
exciting at least.
but again, defensively, and again, there were a lot of missed shots. Neither team shot above 20% from three. Both teams were mid 30s. I mean, the Clippers were low 30s from a field goal percentage standpoint. But again, it had a feel of an old school game. You look at in the fourth quarter, there were 28 points combined in the fourth quarter. 29 points combined. That's just incredible. In a game, in a fourth quarter, an entire fourth quarter, 29 points were scored combined. Pretty crazy. But you're right. That is something the NBA is going to have to fix. I don't know how you fix it. The Suns are currently the favorite to win the NBA title. They're minus 110. If you believe in the Clippers, 32 to 1 you could get right now on the Clippers. Obviously, they're going to have to come back, but they're not out. Atlanta, 16 to 1. In this game last night, I was very happy again. This DeAndre Ayton prop, you and I kind of said before the show started, kind of sucks. We've got to wait again to bet on this. This has been a banger. It's 3-1 in this series. Points, rebounds over for DeAndre Ayton. He basically had it at the half. I think he had 25 at the half. He ends up basically hitting the points rebound prop just through rebounds. He had 22 rebounds last night and 19 points. Just a monster game. It was clear, really, at the beginning of the series that the LA Clippers had no one to stop DeAndre Ayton. And I'll tell you right now, we were talking about it on yesterday's show. DeAndre Ayton's turning into a top 5 center in this league. This guy's been on fire. This guy's played at a really high level. And it's nice to see. Throw in the fact that Devin Booker kind of got back on it last night. Chris Paul, 19 and 7 assists. Everyone played pretty well. And defensively, they were pretty damn good last night.
Yeah, I mean, great performance by DeAndre Ayton. It's so nice to see him finally fulfill his potential, and do what for that fan base, right? I mean, we don't hear much talk about them passing over Luka now, so that must be nice for Ayton. But boy, you were right about that shot making there, right? I mean, I think the Clippers missed 10 potential game tying shots there in the fourth quarter. It was like they just kept getting close and they just couldn't get through there. But I think that's the story of their season. And I think losing Leonard, and then, of course, the reports and the rumors that he might leave in the offseason, there's a lot swirling around this team. So it'll be interesting to see if they just pack it in tomorrow night, which right now is the way that I'm leaning. They put this line at 6, and I wasn't surprised at all for tomorrow night's game.
I mean, it just never ends with this guy, Paul George. I mean, this guy is brutal. And 5 for 28 over the last 3 games from 3, Paulie George. Last night, Paul George, 12 for 18 from the line. They were 21 for 32 from the line and lose by 4. It's a shame because if Kawhi Leonard's in there, they're probably winning this series. for sure, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they lose one game by one game by 4, another game by 6. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Uh, did you hear that clip last night where the Clippers were playing well at one point, and Mike Breen goes, "Kawhi Leonard going nuts," and he's just sitting. He's just sitting there, and he's not
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it hasn't been the best for broadcasting either. And you see these apps, like Hot Mic or the live shows that we do. You can see why they're taking over because, the the level of broadcasting talent that we have seen from both TNT and ESPN hasn't necessarily been high class.
I will say, Jeff Van Gundy's not good on
Mm-mm.
games. He just isn't. But a very good win for the Clippers. I am one step closer to a future cash. Listen, I remember, and I am going to come back on all you people that told me I was an idiot, I was burning money, I was this, I was that. Well, look, I look pretty damn smart now. Now they have to win, but again, I'm very happy where I am with it. Spread, what did you have in this game last night? Did you take the Suns, or what did you have?
I had the best position to be on of all.
The under?
The under. Could you believe that?
164 points in an NBA game. Great call.
Man, yeah. So that was quite enjoyable. It was sweat free for me there towards the end. So yeah, I enjoyed that at all. I wanted the Clippers to come back. I wanted this series to go longer. I feel that going home down 3-1, that could have been the backbreaker now. And I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix goes ahead and finishes us off Monday night. So a little disappointed there, but very happy to cash that under.
A 78-point second half combined
Yeah.
for these two teams. So when you have an under, that's what you want, generally. That was great. Good for you. Glad to see you cash. By the way, Phoenix a 5.5-point favorite in Game 5 on Monday. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Let's get into tonight's action. After that, I'll do a little bit on Euro 2021. By the way, I don't know why they call it Euro 2020. It's obviously not 2020. I guess they call it that just because it was canceled. I don't know. But let's get into tonight's action in the NBA. Eastern Conference Finals. Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks laying 4.5. Total 224. If you like the Hawks, you think they could win the game. Plus 162 on the money line. Currently at FanDuel. We are presented by FanDuel and powered by Pickswise. Make sure if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button. If you're checking us out on the replay, make sure you say hello in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe if you're new around here. We continue to join you here every day. I know it's not easy for people to watch this show live, but people check it out generally on the replay. All right, Spread. Hawks really struggled in Game 2. Just really weren't able to get much going offensively. Bucks made a lot of adjustments on the defensive end, really kind of shut Trae Young down. And right now, this team's supporting cast just isn't showing up. I thought John Collins would have a much different time in this series. He's just had a much tougher assignment here against the Bucks as opposed to the Sixers. Bogdan Bogdanovic is obviously hurt. You don't have Hunter. Herter's been kind of inconsistent, hasn't played consistently enough. Capella's not necessarily an offensive threat. So you're starting to see, at least in one game, maybe a crack in the armor of the Hawks. Milwaukee did a great job, I thought, here in Game 2 and just kind of shutting them down. They were great offensively. The game was never close, really. They had a huge second quarter in that game, in Game 2, outscoring the Hawks 43-17. You have to ask yourself, do they continue to stay calm and in control? We head back to Atlanta, a place where, as we know, Atlanta doesn't lose very often. They were very good there in the regular season and even into the playoffs. I'll ask you first, do you trust Trae Young to bounce back here? Has he found a kind of tonic here as far as with what he's doing? Maybe tonic's not the right word, but has he found his kind of oil and water here? What do you think? Do you think Trae Young and the Hawks kind of fade it and bounce back and play well here? It's not a real big number for the Bucks. You've got to figure maybe they figured something out.
Yeah, and that's the camp I'm in. I believe that Milwaukee figures something out, and I think this is kind of going to be a referendum on the Hawks as true contenders tonight, right? They beat a Knicks team that couldn't score. Okay, they outscored a Knicks team. They beat a Philly team that we've talked about, and we won't get into it, but it was a flawed team that they defeated. Now they're going up against a well-rounded Bucks team that can keep up with them in all aspects, and I think that they really have the defense figured out. So when you ask the question, can Trae Young do it? I mean, he has to. I think that's their only hope. With Bogdanovich not being 100%, they're definitely missing that secondary shot creator. Collins has been somewhat ineffective, but it makes sense that this Bucks defense that has size and switchability would give them issues. Capella has never been much of an offensive force except for his ability to get offensive rebounds and to rim roll in the pick and roll there. It seems like they figured it out a little bit with Brook Lopez playing higher in the drop coverage, giving a little less room to Trae, and then making that one extra rotation. So it's just funny for all the talk that Budenholzer gets about not making adjustments. When he does make adjustments, it seems like we go quiet and we ignore it until the fact. Like if they lose tonight, I'm sure we'll hear it all again tonight. But I personally believe that this Milwaukee team is much better. And I think Atlanta did great in game one. But to me, that was like everything going right for the Hawks, right? The offensive rebounding, Trae's performance, Milwaukee not shooting well. They need a game like that. So I like Milwaukee to get it done here again tonight. I thought this line was a little high at first, but you look at the Hawks and they win close games. When they lose by a blowout. So I can see why they shaded it towards the number. And I would say that as well. If you disagree with me, if you think, hey, the Hawks get back on it tonight, go ahead and take the money line. I think it's very rare that this game falls within the number. So if you like the Bucks, go ahead and lay it. If you disagree with me and you like the Hawks, I would say go ahead and take the money line because I think, if they cover, they're most likely going to win outright as well.
Trae Young, 9 turnovers the other night. That was the most he's had in a game this year. They did a great job on him. And again, as you kind of alluded to, we kind of alluded to, I just don't know if the supporting it's a shame they don't have a healthy Bogdan because I think he kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off Trae Young. Mm-hmm. I thought the Bucks finally put it together. They finally got some bench production. Forbes and Connaughton and some of the other guys, they finally started contributing a little bit. You say the line is a bit too high. I think it's a bit – I'm kind of happy that as long as it's below 5, I'm kind of interested. Now, again, I've had a lot of trouble with the Bucks, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying don't go with off what I say, but I'm going to say don't go off what I say because in this series with the Bucks in general, I've really struggled. But I do think this is a good spot. It seems as if they kind of figured some things out. I think they kind of take control. If they can go down to Atlanta and win 2 games, obviously we know what's going to go on here. The Bucks, I think, overall are the better team, okay? They can't, the Hawks, stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. No one can. They didn't really get that much out of Middleton the other night. So I think, for me, I kind of agree with you. But, we are kind of quickly dispatching the Hawks here. This is a team that spread, for the most part, the series has been very good as an underdog. Now they're a home underdog. It is kind of interesting that we're so quick to dispatch them after the other night. But, again, we finally saw a team that didn't get beat up by Trae Young with slip screens and all sorts of different things. So you've got to figure they come out here and probably get the job done. So I'm going to lean on the Bucks here to kind of take care of business. Spread, any props that you have your eye on tonight?
Let's talk about the total real quick, and then we'll go into props. My idea was I was going to jump back in on the under here. The first game went over, second game went under. They've dropped it a little bit. It's at 224 tonight. I already jumped in on the Bucks, but before I wanted to talk to you about the total before I jumped in there as well. And then, of course, I'll give you some props. But did you agree with me that maybe the under is another good look here tonight, or do you think we finally bounce back? And
I'm not going to be betting a ton of overs in the playoffs at this point. I mean, obviously, I think this game's a bit closer. I know in transition, the Bucks won in transition 27-12. They got out and ran a little bit, but the Bucks have continued to show they can't consistently hit from 3. I think the Hawks are probably a little bit better defensively tonight. I'll probably lean under, but I haven't had – look, once you get to the playoffs, this overs or unders are tough. You kind of just go off different things in the regular season than you would in the playoffs. I will say, Giannis Antetokounmpo the other night played 29 minutes. He scored 25 points. You look at the other games in this series. You look at Game 1, he played 41 minutes at 34 points. In Game 7, he played 50 minutes. Obviously, the overtime, he scored 40. it seems like when Giannis Antetokounmpo plays 35 minutes, he's probably going to get 35-ish points. His point total tonight is 33 and a half. I think there's a little bit different way maybe you could go here. Maybe you look towards Giannis over 30 points, over 30 or more points, and they win. You could do something like that. But 33 and a half seems kind of, I think, maybe a little low. When you'd have to figure he's going to play 35-plus minutes here tonight. You look at points, rebounds, and assists for Antetokounmpo, 53 and a half. He's generally getting in the mid, early teens and rebounds. I don't know. I feel like for them to win, he's going to have to always have a big game. So, over 33 and a half looks solid. You just need to make sure he plays enough minutes.
Yeah, I like that, especially if you're on the Bucks. I know that FanDuel does the same game parlays, and you could probably get the Bucks to plus money by combining those. So the two I had circled here, one a role player on each team. I like Bryn Forbes over 5.5 points here. Give me 2 threes. I think he will get some open looks here, and I think I think he can drop 2 threes here. And the other one is Herder, 12.5 there, so that they put us over the 4-3 threshold.
I had that the other night.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of usage here, and I do expect him to bounce back after a rough performance in Game 2. So I like Bryn Forbes and Kevin Herter both on the points.
I actually like the Forbes one. That's a good one. Both games in the series, he's had 5 or more points. He's played about 13 minutes in this series.
Mm-hmm.
I have to figure. If you see him, out, he's going to get 15 minutes probably. I think that's a great shout for you here. He's a guy that I think for them to kind of win and to cover, you're going to need something out of. They just don't. PJ Tucker is a net negative offensively. They only have, obviously 4 starters that are going to contribute. You need Pat Connaughton, you need Forbes, you need Portis to offer you something here. So, I kind of like that. I think you see him get 12 to 15 minutes. I think that's a good one. Hunter saying Bucks minus 1.5 first quarter. Yeah, you always kind of hope for a hot start, especially if you're laying the points. Jesse's girl saying, Jeff, you look amazing. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Dexter Ross saying Bucks come out strong. A lot of people thinking that Bucks are going to come out here, with their hair on fire, if you will. So, I don't know. I don't have much on those. This is a tough series. I've had a tough time with this overall. Let me ask you a spread. One thing that I kind of possibly alluded to last game was John Collins and how good he's been rebounding the basketball. He didn't play a ton of minutes the other night, but this is a guy that's regularly getting mid-teens from a rebounding standpoint. You have another – I'm going to build some prop parlays in this series, in this game tonight. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some fun with some of these games. Particularly in this series, just because I've had such a tough time with kind of figuring it out. Here's what I'm going to do, Spread. I'm going to have some fun with this. I'm going to go John Collins over 9.5 rebounds. I'm going to go Bryn Forbes over 5.5 points with the same game parlay. I'm going to play around. What else do you like here? Give me some other ones.
All right. Some other ones I was looking at. I like Herder. Go ahead and throw him in there.
I'll probably go back to the well with him. I had him the other night and it didn't win. You saying let's go over 10.5. I'll figure this out. I'm gonna do a couple of these. So that's a good shout. But I like Collins over 9.5 rebounds. To continue to throw him under 10 rebounds is kind of rough. Trae Young 9.5 assists. Yeah, he's probably gonna have to do a little bit more dishing out stuff just because of how good they've played him, at least in the last game. Trae Young was definitely hounded in that game. So I guess we'll figure that out. I heard an interview the other night with Trae Young's father. He's got a good group of people around him, man. He's continued to be able to kind of thrive in whatever system that he's in. So good for Trae Young. So, Spread, what are you going to go with? Give me a best bet here in this game.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucks -4 or 4.5, depending on what number you got. I got 4 on Bookmaker this morning, and I just think they get it done. So I like the Bucks to continue to roll. I think they figured this team out here, and I think that they're the much better team. So I'm going to go ahead and take Milwaukee to continue to get it done.
Keep in mind, spread out in California, he got 4. He can't use FanDuel personally.
Right.
I can. I'll play 4.5. All right with it, as long as it doesn't go to 5. I also do like, a bit of a hedge. Not really. I don't really know, but I feel like he'll play more than 27 minutes that he played, because it will be a blowout. I think John Collins has turned himself into a really high level rebounder. This is a guy that did a great job during the season. Rebounding the ball. He's been a mammoth on the boards. I mean, you look at the last couple of games, 8, 15, 16, 10, 11, 12. And that's been his rebounding numbers. I know the Bucks are a good rebounding team, but in the first game he had 15. I figure he'll play mid-30s minutes-wise. I think that's going to be enough for him to hit the over 9.5 rebounds here in this one. Hunter saying, got to stay on the Herder train. Yeah, you definitely do. I had it last game, of course, and it didn't come in. No surprise there, because it's the Bucks and the Hawks. Spread. Are you betting Pocono today? You got anything on that?
No, I'm not.
I know you're.
I'm actually doing Wimbledon prep for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know your boy Jay. Are you going to be on that? Are they going to do a stream? Are you going to be on the stream?
Yeah, they'll be on it, but I will not. I'll be doing. I'll be jumping on my podcast stream, and we will be doing. I know we're doing the women's for sure, and we'll see if we can sneak the men's in there. I'm more a fan of the WTA, especially this year where it looks like it's just going to be a Djokovic coronation. But we'll be doing Wimbledon content and prep all day.
Keep in mind, Spread Astaire bets tennis. He enjoys tennis, so make sure you check him out. A couple of things here before we go. Netherlands and Czech Republic 0-0, 20 minutes in. Game later, Belgium and Portugal. Lean Belgium here. I think Portugal's best days are behind them a little bit. I think Belgium is as good as it gets. I would love to see Portugal win here somehow, because Italy would get and avoid Belgium in the next round, which I'm going to go watch the game Friday. I'm very excited with Spread. Coming up when I was a kid, my first job was at a pizzeria. Okay? So my best friend, they own a pizzeria. His father got me into soccer. He's always been a big soccer fan. He's from Italy, straight up. So I'm going to go watch it there, and I would love to see them play Portugal here. We'll see how that goes. I lean Belgium. I think they're the better side. I wouldn't really have a lot of interest in a full 90 minutes. I'd probably more or less take to advance. That way you don't get beat on the draw. But I don't know. I don't have much in this game. I think it's pretty even. I think Belgium's slightly better, so I'd probably lean for them to advance here. Lukaku to score anytime maybe. In that Spread, do you cap WNBA? No?
No, I have not.
Good. Very good. I didn't think you did. All right, guys, that's that for us. No reason to drag this thing out. What we'll do, though, before we go here is we'll talk a little pre-race. I would lean Martin Truex. He's always good at Pocono. Spread, where can we find you? What do you got going on?
Yeah, at Spread Astaire, and like I said, I will be jumping on about a half hour from now, and at Net Worth Pod, we will be doing a Wimbledon preview, and we're going to start with the WTA side, where it is wide open. There's no one that's less than 5-1 to win the title. So if you can figure this out, it's going to be a big payday, if you can hit these right outright. So we'll be digging into that market and see if we can find some value and put you in a position to where by the time that final weekend comes, you've got some big money tickets in your pocket, and you'll be enjoying the last weekend that way.
Go check out Spread Astaire, at Spread Astaire. I don't cap Wimbledon, so I'm someone that would go to him if I ever were to cap Wimbledon. Brian Doyle, love you both. Thanks, man. Hey, Spread, before we go, got a nice little story here for all of you people that are looking to smile today. Let's go to Londonderry, New Hampshire. An individual walked into a restaurant and ordered some food. He got 2 hot dogs, a couple bags of chips, a Coke, a beer, and a shot of tequila. The bill was $37, which seems high, but $37. They sent him and walked away. They gave him the receipt. His bill was $37.93. 5 minutes later, the bartender came back after the individual said, "Don't spend it all in one place." The bartender looked down at the receipt, and the total said $16,037.38 or whatever the total was. The individual left a $16,000 tip on the receipt. I guess it's some individual they didn't name. It was, I guess, anonymous. How about that?
That's wild. Talk about
First
a
of
good
all,
day at work, huh?
it's a boss move if you're able to do that. Second of all, I'm going to tell you all something. There are way too many greedy people in this world. When you go out, when you go do something today, maybe you're at a bar, you're at a restaurant, give them a little extra. Those people that work there, they ain't making a ton of money. They struggled for the last year plus. Give them a little extra. Be a nice person today. Shout out to that guy. I would love to speak to that guy. Shout out to that guy for doing that. What a boss move. How did you decide on 16 grand as well?
I know. Huh?
Into his head. Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at Jeff Nadu. Make sure you go check out my podcast, The Sit Down. We are 12 episodes in. We're doing really well, over 100,000 listens. We've got high hopes for this show. I think in the next month or two, we're going to have some real big news coming out on this thing. Next week, we're talking about a guy. And Spread, I urge you to listen to the show next week. We're talking about a guy called Kabani Savage. He's a drug dealer. He headed one of the most violent drug organizations in the history of America. I think you can make the case he's the most dangerous individual in the federal prison system right now. We'll talk about him coming up this week. He is still alive, and he is a very dangerous person. So let's wrap this thing up. Spread, thanks as always for coming on. You had a busy week here in the show. You came on when we needed you, and we appreciate that. I appreciate that. Go check out Spread on Twitter at Spread Astaire. Spread, thanks for everything. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we get a fun game tonight.
Yeah, agreed with that. Everyone, have a great Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday wherever you are. We're here every day breaking down the NBA card. I'll be here live tomorrow with the great Blackjack Fletcher, I believe. You all enjoy your day. I'm the big man. He's Spread Astaire. See ya.